All right, the recording is now going. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are part of a construction technology class in Del Webb at ASU. And so our task is to kind of talk to industry and figure out what technologies you guys are using actively, your feedback on those, and what technologies you think would help aid the construction industry. So I think Frank was gonna start us off here. Frank, do you have those questions?
I do. I just dropped the screen real fast. 1 second.
No worries.
Well, Frank, while you're pulling it up, maybe Jasmine and I can just introduce ourselves so you guys know who we are and what we do. So my name's Jason Summers, obviously with Brinkmann Constructors. I'm a project director here and oversee and manage our both pre-construction efforts as well as our operations in the field.
Awesome.
And I'm Jasmine Tamayo. I'm a VDC engineer at Brinkmann Constructors. And for those who don't know, VDC stands for Virtual Design and Construction.
Okay. How long have the two of you been with Brinkman?
For me, I've only been here about, oh wow, I think it's going on about 8 months.
Okay.
Does that sound
Sounds
right?
about
Yeah.
right, yeah. Yeah, and I've been with Brinkman for quite a long time. I'm probably coming up on my 18-year anniversary. I was in our Denver office for a very long time, and when we opened an office here in Arizona a couple of years ago, I transferred down to help grow this office with a few other folks here. So
Awesome. Thank you for sharing a little bit about your positions at Brinkman. Frank, are you ready for those questions?
Yes. You went over a little bit of them already, but you told us your job titles. So are you assigned to, actually, when you do the project itself, are you assigned to the job site or do you spend more of your time at the office?
for myself, I spend a majority of, well, my time's split. I mean, a majority of my time is office and pre-construction and oversight. But I visit jobs pretty regularly, at least once or twice a week.
I'm similar. I'm in the office quite a bit. Um, I actually get to work on projects. The great thing about it being virtual design. I get to work on projects that are not only Phoenix-based. I have some projects in Salt Lake City. I'm working on one in Blacksburg. So it's very cool being able to touch several projects without actually having to be there. On site, I believe it's more once that construction process starts, I can do some verification and visit and travel some sites, but not as often.
We did mention, well, Jasmine, you did mention you had at least with the company for 8 months. And Jason, I want to say you said 18 years?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. How long have you two been in the construction industry in and of itself?
I don't want to divulge that information to you guys at this point. No. I got into the industry probably around probably around like 1998. So I graduated from college in 2000 and have been in the industry since that time. Kind of did some trades work when I was younger. It got me interested in the industry and then went to construction management school. Got a degree in Bachelor's of Science for that.
For me, so construction, I've only been since those 8 months basically. So before this, I was actually in an architecture firm. I got my bachelor's in architecture at U of A. And I recently made the transition to the construction world. I believe I was always more of a technical person. I love the software involved, and so that transition was pretty seamless. So,
And for the team, just so you guys are aware, Tammy Carr has joined us. She's also with Brinkman Constructors. She's part of our business development team and actually wears more hats than that, but just as a heads up there.
Thank you, Tammy, for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
You bet.
Sammy, I think you had some follow-up questions.
Oh, can you guys tell me some technologies that you guys use frequently?
Yeah, Jasmine, why don't you go ahead first and then I can fill in some things on the operations side.
Sounds good. So we predominantly use Revit. So the Autodesk world, Revit, some AutoCAD. So we also use Navisworks. The recent software that we got into is Revisto, which is a very cool software. We take all of our, whether it's the design portion, we take all the design models, and it helps us with clash detection. Um, and then for the trades, it's very communicative. There's a chat feature. Here, I'll actually, if you want, I can share my screen just to kind of give you guys an idea of what that looks like.
That would be awesome.
Not sure. Let's see. Get the right screen. I think it's this one. Let me know if you guys can see my screen.
See it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so this is one of those projects that I mentioned in Salt Lake City. Um, this is student housing. This is 8 stories underground parking, and yeah, massive. And this is great to have to be able to coordinate mechanical, electrical, plumbing. We've actually caught quite a few things before construction commenced. A lot of clearance issues within the garage, which has saved us a lot of time and money in the future once this actually gets to that point of construction. Um, Again, this has all of the trade models. And then here, sorry, the little share feature is blocking my screen a little bit. Yeah, so here you can see all of the architectural, fire, plumbing, mechanical, all of the models linked in here. And this tool is really great to, look at different portions of the building. Even have like the joists modeled in there, all of the plumbing fixtures you can see, all of the sanitary vents running up the walls. And again, this just really helps us coordinate any possible issues that may occur once it's being constructed. It helps us track all issues that are ongoing, closed, RFIs. It's all connected to Procore, which I'm sure Jason will talk about a little bit later. And then, yeah, chat features where we can actually talk to our trades and try and figure out solutions to problems. And then this can also be used in the field to verify any kind of issues going on as well and coordinate anything that needs to be coordinated. So, yeah, that's a quick.
What are the most common coordination issues that you catch before construction?
Oh, wow. I mean, I think a lot of the really big importance is probably kind of any kind of structural issues, just because those are it's harder to move structure compared to like moving a duct or some kind of pipe. So that's a big one. Again, this one was the garage. The clearance was not enough for all of the trades to hook up their lines, their plumbing. And that really saved us a lot of time with having to go back to the architect, them figuring out their new slopes and everything. So yeah, I think structure base is probably the most, I would say, important. And maybe, Jason wants to put in a little more his
Yeah,
opinion on what's more costly.
I would definitely agree that when we find structure clashes, those save us the most probably time and financial impact. I would suspect, though, that a majority of Jasmine and her other team's time is found clashes of whether that's drain piping, duct work, clashes with, other MEPs that could be in the area, fire sprinkler. I mean, I think if you were to do a percentage, it's probably 80 to 90% are clashes in that range, maybe Jasmine, and then,
Yes,
but those are a little easier to solve.
correct. Mhm.
The structural are very impactful when they are discovered early.
Correct. Yep, agreed.
Well,
And then,
Jasmine's technology is way cooler than mine. I can share you guys a little bit about some of the other technology that we use. So she had mentioned Procore, and if you guys aren't familiar, it's just construction technology software where we house pretty much everything that we do on a job site, whether that's our photos, our RFIs, our submittals, inspections, pretty much everything that we do operationally is shared through Procore, which allows us to easily distribute information to all interested parties on the job. All right, anybody, are you guys familiar with Procore? Have you seen it before?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only
Like
heard
one
about it.
assignment in class on
Mm.
Procore.
I
Yeah,
used
I
it
mean,
on
I
my
could,
last internship.
legit. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty common in the industry. There's a couple other technologies that are similar to it, but my experience that most construction and especially larger construction firms have been utilizing Procore. So some of the other, I guess, technology that we've been implementing here recently, there's a app called Breadcrumb. They're actually based out of the United Kingdom, I believe, and they've been into, getting into the US market. It's well, they do a lot of different things for us, but one of the things that's very challenging in our industry is to make sure that we know who's on our job site all the time. And right now, it's kind of a system in Procore where our guys go out there, they say, okay, it looks like we have 15 framers today. And we log that in our system in our daily log to document who is there. So Breadcrumb has come up with, it's simple, but it's QR codes that we post around our job site. All the tradespeople are able to scan the QR code because pretty much everybody has a phone, and then they can log in, and then it's so an updated, accurate information of who's on our job, when they got there, and then also when they left. So that's trying to just improve our tracking of who's on our job site, and it also helps with safety. So if there is some type of incident that were occur, we can account for, everybody on our job site. The other things that happen with breadcrumb, a lot of the construction industry, we've done things the old way and we're trying to get more technology implemented. So, like pre-task planning, a lot of those used to be filled out with, paper and shuffled around job sites. So now we're saving those in breadcrumb. They also, a lot of our safety documents that we want to make sure that our subcontractors are seeing. So when they arrive on our job site for the first time, if they haven't been on that job, there's a safety video and a form that we want to make sure that they, watch the video, understand the safety requirements on a Brinkmann job, and then acknowledge that they are gonna, they've seen the video and then they're gonna follow those safety guidelines. So Breadcrumb is helping us do that a little more quickly, where you can just watch that on your phone instead of coming into the job site trailer, sitting down. It just has sped up the process of getting people integrated into our job. The other item well, we talked a little bit about then pre-task planning, where trades are identifying, this is what I'm doing today. These are some of the safety hazards. It's uploaded into Breadcrumb, and then our team can review those, approve them, and acknowledge that, they're ready to get to work and perform where we need them, and perform safely. Any questions about either of those two? I've got a couple more I can share if you'd like.
Breadcrumb is an interesting technology. Coming out of school, it's not something that you think about having to like always track people on your job site. So that's an interesting technology that I hadn't heard of yet. You said you had a couple more to share with us. We'd be more than happy to learn about that.
Yeah. So there's another technology out there that we've utilized. One of our trade partners actually brought it to our attention. It's called SiteAware. And in essence, it's very Well, we've utilized it thus far with a lot of our post-tension concrete decks. So if you guys have seen that or haven't seen that, when you look at a deck from above, there is a lot of components that go into a PT deck, whether that's the cables, the rebar, the embeds, the sleeving for future plumbing or mechanical or fire sprinkler, whatever it may need. And for a long time, the way we check that is we have grid lines that are identified on a slab. The guys pull tape measures from those grid lines, make sure that that sleeve or that cable or that embed is located in the right location. So now what we've been doing with SiteAware is you actually fly over the top of the deck with a drone. A lot of information is obviously uploaded into there, and from that, those pictures, they the technology can identify, hey, this embed is off or this embed is missing, or this PT cable doesn't look correct, and it helps our guys and gals identify areas that need to be reviewed. It may not be 100% accurate. Some things change in the field, but it does give them a very precise. You can dial it down to the eighth of an inch, which is a little bit extreme. We probably go to a quarter to a half, depending on what component we're reviewing. But SiteAware is actually there's a couple other people, but I think they're on the forefront of really implementing high-end quality control. They do it for post-tension decks. They actually do exterior skins, visuals with drones, as well as interior photography, in essence, of walls before they're drywalled. So it's a pretty cool technology.
That sounds like it's a little bit of integrated AI, if I'm not mistaken.
I, I don't know what happens behind the scene, to be honest with you, Grace. Like I do know that there are still people involved with verifying those dimensions and how it all goes together. But yeah, I do think there's a component of AI. And I think, as time progresses, it'll probably become more and more implemented into there. But it's been extremely valuable. If you guys, if you miss a sleeve or a sleeve is located incorrectly in a PT deck, it can be pretty costly because now you have to go scan the deck, understand after it's poured, understand where all the impediments could be underneath there, and then go core drill it. And core drilling is risky because if you hit a post tension cable or you hit a rebar or you hit something else, there's ramifications that come with that. So it saved us quite a bit of time and effort on the jobs we've used it so far.
That's awesome. I know it's kind of like an interesting world having AI now integrate with construction because a lot of things we've always done it ourselves, right? But following that, actually, what is your opinion on AI and how it can be used in the construction industry? And it sounds like this software has a little bit of it. Do you think that more AI would be helpful?
I do think it'll be helpful, just because of how I've progressed, I guess, in my career and not had access to it. There is a component of we still want people on job sites to be verifying things as well. And we don't want to, I mean, in my opinion, solely relying on a AI technology or some other aspect to say, hey, this is right or wrong. I, I still think there's the human element of we can go out there and observe it and coordinate and make sure we're doing things correctly. But I do think there's some really good technology for it. One of the areas, and Jasmine may have experienced this as well, but on our pre-construction side of things, with AI, there's a lot of capabilities now of assistance with reading construction documents and identifying certain aspects scope that are in the project and or specifications. So you can kind of search through and filter and find things that you want to investigate a little bit easier with that technology and then implement that into your estimating and bidding.
Yep, I totally agree. I think AI is good or helpful in the way to save you time so you can focus on the things that matter. But yeah, I think verification and being involved and understanding what you're saying is very important. So I completely agree with what Jason said.
A couple other areas where it's used more on like the way up front area is contract review. So any executives in construction know you spend a significant amount of time reviewing your client's contract terms and trying to figure out what words they've changed from a standard AIA contract, which mean a lot if you have to pull the contract out later. So using AI to call up what is outside of the normal template and reviewing contract changes up front when you're negotiating your project contract terms is one area where it can help with efficiency. Another area is processing RFIs. And then lastly, I have some clients that are starting to dabble in using AI to put together estimates, which I think is really dangerous. That clients want to use AI to put together estimates rather than engaging our TIC Jason laughing because we all know what can happen with this is that AI is using content people have put in, which means then it tends to be historical data. So, clients are trying to figure out how much it's going to cost them per square foot to do their next housing project or industrial project. And they're asking AI for that. So it might come in and bring, based upon historical costs, what it should cost per square foot. But we all know, especially since 2020, you can't rely on historical costs in construction today to know what something's going to cost. So our pre-con team does a lot of forecasting around supply and long lead and tariffs that historical costs don't take into account and or in some cases, in this earlier this year, we were de-escalating some when we were using some of our historic as a starting point, we were de-escalating some of those costs because construction costs were starting to come down post COVID tension until the war started. And now it's, now we've got tariffs and stuff to consider again. So using only historical costs can be kind of dangerous, but some people are trying to use AI for estimates as well.
Um, so for AI, was it immediately beneficial when you guys started using it, or did you guys have to like change it up a bit to make it work for the company? Because I know that other companies said that AI does not work for them like at all. So like I'm kind of surprised to know that you guys are like really using AI a lot, or like it's like working really good for you guys.
I would
Yeah.
say we're not super early adopters. So there's some companies that jumped all in immediately. And I would say we hung back for a year or two and just kind of watched to see how it was being utilized and what the potential legal ramifications are around it. Some of the companies that were early adopters really got themselves in trouble because they didn't realize when they were putting their content in that it was uploading to the web and then making plan sets for their clients publicly available. So I would say we were not early adopters. We kind of hung back a little bit to understand things before we started utilizing it. But
Mhm.
yeah, Jason could probably say more.
Yeah, I would say, and I don't know what those other companies mentioned to you, but it probably ties into what I was talking about earlier, where I think right now for a lot of us, it's an additional tool to help us, but it's not necessarily replacing some of the old ways that we have done things. I guess it's an add-on additional, like when we talk about like a site aware, like quality control or quality assurance, it's an additional tool to help us be good and improve at what we're doing, but isn't really, at this stage, it's not replacing what we've done in the past.
Okay.
Is this like an exciting shift or more of a nerve-wracking shift, in your opinion, like in general, with the AI?
Oh, I think it's exciting. I mean, watching what Jasmine can do on her computer and all the technology that they're putting in there. And I mean, yeah, because of how long I've been in the industry and how we used to coordinate the things that Jasmine now coordinates. I mean, it would take us weeks and months to do things that she knocks out in a couple of hours. Um, and so, yeah, it's a pretty amazing technology. She's, just talking onto hers, she does it so far up front that when our teams get out there and they're actually installing, things go much more efficiently. Um, a good saying I've heard through our industry, we never have enough time to do it the first time. So having to do it a second time really isn't a good option. So, that technology has definitely improved our ability to install things correctly the first time and continue in a, positive schedule trend.
There's also a lot more risk when you go back to do it the second time, so alleviating that safety risk is good. I think AI for our industry in total is helping assist with more prefab and modular solutions, which you won't have to work in the industry long to realize how short we are of workforce, and have been for a decade and will continue to be for the foreseeable future. We just don't have as many people coming into the industry as we need. So anything we can do to make the bodies we have more efficient is welcome. So I think our industry is very supportive of AI.
That's awesome feedback. I think a couple of our meetings we've heard that like, oh, AI is like a little bit of a touchy or subject, but um glad to know that you guys are using it full swing, it sounds like a little bit in ways in which it's applicable. Um, I have one closeout question for you all. What would be something you would advise us to take out of school? I know a lot of what we learn is very textbook and industry operates differently, but if there is one thing that you're like, this would help you tremendously, what would that be?
Well, it's probably not good. Well, my opinion, I don't know how much you are taught it or learned it, but construction is still a people industry. So having good people skills and understanding how to communicate, whether that's, through text, through email, in person, is really an invaluable skill. So, absorb and learn all the technical data that you can, but still having a good personal touch with people is um, high on the priority list in our industry.
Jasmine, what do you think?
For me, I would say like stay inquisitive. School, again, it only teaches you a portion of what you're ever really going to experience or keep learning. Again, maybe more of a software person here. Technology is expanding constantly. So just staying in the loop, seeing what's new, what's going on, and just again, maybe it's something that you don't necessarily need to have in your, skill set, but going far and beyond and just being like, hey, I'm curious, what is this about? And going to see how you can apply it to, wherever you are in your life, whether bringing it into your firm or your company, being like, hey guys, I found this cool software, or I want to go to this event, just to learn more about it. I think again, Brinkmann here is very supportive of us going to conferences and I went to a Reviso conference not too long ago and just keep learning about, the technology and softwares that I can use in the construction industry. So yeah, again, just stay curious, keep trying to learn as much as you can.
My comment would be a twist on Jason's. So I think, one of the cool things about construction is every project is different. Every project has its challenges. There's no easy construction projects. There just are not. Every single project, big or small, has challenges. Things don't always go as planned, so you've got to be really good at problem solving, which does keep it interesting. And the way it relates to what Jason said is the easiest way to resolve a problem is to have good communication skills and to be open and collaborative, to want to try to solve the problem collaboratively, versus trying to figure out who was at fault or anything else. It's more about like, what do we need to do to fix this? What can you commit to? What can we do to help? So it's really about working collaboratively, and that lends itself to both working with the design team, the cities, all jurisdictions, power companies, the owner, the furniture vendor. It goes across the board. Like you've got to be very collaborative and willing to problem solve together. Will go a long way in your career.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for that advice. As much as it seems more of like a repetitive question probably for my teammates and I. I love hearing everyone's different answers because we can all
Mhm.
take a little something from everyone's experience. Thank you for taking the time today. Tammy, Jason, and Jasmine, I will be joining the Brinkmann internship program this summer, so I'm looking forward to hopefully meeting all of you in person. But following that, I think we've covered everything we need today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Good
Thanks,
Thank
luck.
you.
everybody.
Have a
Thank
great
you. I
day.
See you
appreciate it.
soon, Grace.
See you
Have a good
soon.
day.
Ah!
All right.
Stop recording.
Stop
Recording.
recording. Stop recording.
Congratulations. We